What's up, everyone? Alright, so these old machines. What happened here? There's two bushings on either side of this arm on the inside, and the welds break on those bushings, and then your pin ends up turning. Well, you can see, even though this is real high grade steel, this broke in half. There's the main cylinder in here is what pushes up on this pin. Well, if you don't support that pin on either side with these bushings affixed inside, then your sides blow out. You get all these nasty cracks and everything. See where we ripped the frame in half here and re-welded it, put braces in. This machine has had a lot of time on it, but yeah, I'm just replacing the pin, trying to get it so I can at least move the machine in and out. So I'm just posting live. I haven't in a while. I don't know who watches or follows, or if anybody does. Sometimes it seems like nobody does, so it seems like my time is better served doing other things. I do enjoy the YouTube. I do enjoy making videos about things, but it seems like often, if I put the time and the effort into making really nice videos, at least what I think is really nice, if I put a lot of time and effort into editing a video, I would think that would get more views, just because of the quality. Even if I make a nice thumbnail with it, I would think that it would get more views just based on the thumbnail. So I'm trying to get these because they're crooked as hell, but that's not always the case. It's kind of strange to me. I'm trying to figure out how YouTube actually works. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm not one of these internet wizards like all these guys are out there now. And I don't have a lot of time and patience for it. You see a lot of these guys who make these videos, they're not doing what I'm doing right now. They don't ever have to do this kind of stuff. They might have had to do that when they started out, if they're in this kind of thing, but you can't do everything. You can't do 10 different things at once. And I get a lot of comments and a lot of replies, a lot of criticism about my videos or the music in a video that I made like 10 years ago. People are like, change it now, you suck. And I'm like, I can't even go on editor because they don't give us the tools that we need. I just spent more money on a proper editing program for my computer. So now I can do stuff on the computer and I can do stuff on the phone. This is sketchy. Time to do some sketchy shit. Well, because if anything happens, if this arm drops, I should have, what I want to have is a beam overhead and a rope pulley ratchet come along, or Mazden chain winch deadfall, whatever you call it. I got to get that because I got to disconnect this entire arm anyway and lift it up off of here. I busted a hose when that pin broke and it collapsed. The rim pushed on the back here, blew all this out. So I busted a hose. So yeah, I gotta do that too. Gotta replace that hose. So yeah, just reaching under here with just a little. It's just propped up using a Used a piece of wood. That's the best thing I could think of. You know, it's pretty solid. She's not going to go this way or that way. It's mostly if it rolls back. That's what I would be afraid of. So yeah, I don't really do a lot of YouTube stuff just because I don't understand it. I don't understand how it all works. And I got too much other stuff to do. I mean, this thing needs a complete rebuild to keep being of good service. It sat on a job all year last year, and I didn't make any money off that job. And I mean, the guy was a nice enough guy, but I mean, after you're there for a year and he keeps adding stuff, or he keeps asking for stuff, or stuff keeps happening every week, eventually it just becomes this situation that I just want to get out of. I just wanted to be out of there. I just wanted to be done with all that. And finally got out of there, was finally done with all that. Finally get everything back here. And now we're back, sort of semi back in action. But it's all these things. Now I got a ton pile of repairs and stuff to do. Everything's broken. Everything's broken from the year. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying I got a ton pile of repairs and stuff, even just greasing machines. Just talking with my buddy about just how many grease guns I have on hand at one time. I have 4 or 5 of them because you always need one, and half the time you can't get them to work right. If you got 2 or 3 of them, chances are you're going to have at least one working. Just like with my saws, any tools that I have or use. Now, the trouble is I got to actually see why she's not going back. I can't get the head of the ram up in there. Maybe I can use video to help me here. I'm going to put you guys in a very bad spot. Don't be scared. It's just the phone. You're just on the phone. It'll look scary when you're under there. It might. I don't know. You might be tough enough where it doesn't scare you. I'm gonna figure out this camera here because I need to actually see what I'm doing, but I need to see from the side. I need to see. So what we've got here. All right. So I've got to get the pin in, right? I've got to get these bushings. You see where that bushing sits? Up and in there. Let's see if I can magnify it here. Oh yeah. All right. So now I can kind of sort of see what I'm doing, and you guys get to see along with it too. All right. I'm out of the way. You may be able to see what's going on here. What? How much? How much money on YouTube? What? Yeah, that's funny, dude. I make literally my YouTube channel pulls in maybe 200 or 300 a year if I'm lucky. It's a little tiny extra, you know, and I've worked at it for years, but like I said, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not in it to actually make money. It's nice to get the extra to help pay for grease guns. Literally, I tell people YouTube buys me a pair of shoes every year. I probably go through 3 or 4 pairs of shoes a year because of the work that I do. YouTube might buy me a pair of those. So it's nice to have that little extra cushion. All right, so I gotta get. Aha! I got them. Got them so they're out of the way. You will sub to give me money? Bro, thank you. That's awesome. That helps. But I do sell my artwork. I've actually almost sold a couple pieces off of from YouTube videos. But it's just a matter of whether the guy got back to me or not. And he wanted a whole bunch of stuff, but then a lot of it he wanted like specific things, and I was like, look, I don't really do special order. I don't have time because of my other work. I don't know where the heck that dang. Oh boy, now we're in for it. Now we lost. I'm only trying, right now I'm just trying to get the pin in so I can move this arm up and down and get the machine in and out of the barn and move my forks. I don't really need that bushing, but I would like to get it in there. Oh, there she is right there. Haha. Sweet. Solid. Yeah, it's just so hard with the sunlight coming in too and blocking everything out. And I was going to save this sweatshirt, but guys, I go through a lot of sweatshirts. I go through a lot of t-shirts. I can't have any nice clothes at all. Even if I have nice clothes, like dressy clothes, somehow they get grease. They get grease or dirt on them. Even if they never come to the shop, even if they're never in the car, somehow I will find a way to track grease everywhere and get it all over everything. That's always been my thing. All right, so I got her lined up, and I got to shove the pin in. Hopefully she all goes in. So, that being that, it's almost all the way in. Let me shrink this down. Take that down. Only 10, but you know how it feels. Not sure what that means. You mean being overwhelmed with a list of stuff to do? I mean, I'm not sad to be overwhelmed, but I'm just not. I mean, if you're 10 years old, you should be really good at the internet and the YouTube stuff. All of you young kids got it figured out. See, us old guys, we just don't get it. We don't. I mean, I can learn about anything, even about how the crypto and the computer hacking and all that stuff works, but as far as me doing anything involving that stuff, I don't know how to talk to a computer. I don't know how to talk to an electronic this or widget that, or I don't know, and I can't, it's not common sense for me to know how to navigate through an office suite. For me to go and do paperwork on Microsoft Office or whatever, it takes me months, takes me a lot of time to learn how to do all that. Just how to communicate with the machine. Like here, this machine, it's easy to communicate with. You turn the key, you work the throttle, and you flip levers, and it does exactly what you want. And go home. Everybody goes home happy that day. So I got the pin in. Now I can at least move the arm up and down. I can at least move the machine. It's semi back to the state that it was in before the pins broke and the arm collapsed. Of course, getting this pin in now, the linch pin, that's a task all its own. I gotta almost beat the side of the arm in. The sides of these arms are so welled out and swollen. I'll show you guys here. This machine is so beat. Where the heck? There. All right, so this machine is so completely beat. And there's this stupid phone thing. See, even that little clippy thing frustrates me. This arm used to be flat, okay? It used to be a flat arm. The side of this arm is supposed to be flat. You see the space in the pin from the side of the arm to the red handle on the pin. That's how bulged out. Oh, I'm getting grease on my phone now. Yeah, hold on a second. So you see the difference. See, it's touching back here. It's not touching up there. That's how bulged out. That's how swollen and beat up that it's cracked. And I gotta pound all that back in. See, I ripped her in half here. Then we put braces in, welded it back up. This whole thing has just been nonstop. This carrier actually bows. The carrier's it's completely cracked in 4 spots down the middle. I mean, this thing has seen its use. It's got probably 400 pounds of ballast weight on the rear for a counterbalance. But see, the problem is now I got to bang that in enough to get that pin in there. And you see, there's enough hole under the underside to get the pin in. So maybe I could just turn it. But once I turn it, that handle on the other side is going to pull the pin back that way, because the handle right now is tight up against the entire thing. So we'll see. Maybe my little pin will fit in there. I've just got to bang on it for a bit here. Just showing you guys. Just explaining what we're doing. How things are going along. So, yeah, it's just nonstop here. And then you got this whole YouTube expectations thing. And it like, guys, all my free time, all my hobby time, all of my enjoyment time or whatever, like sitting at home, I don't really go on the internet and have discussions with people. I don't really go on the internet and comment on a lot of stuff. I mean, there's times I do sometimes, but I don't even know why I do that. I find myself in this trap where it's like, oh, I gotta say something about that just because nobody else is and nobody else saying what I'm thinking, you know. But even there, nobody sees that stuff. Nobody sees that stuff because everybody's on the internet making those comments. This is the thing about it. Everybody's on that internet making those comments to have their voice be heard and to have their opinion be known, and that's their agenda. That's their only agenda. You know, like, I understand it, but they may look at my comment, and because it's not what they were thinking, it's not relevant. But here's the thing. I just did the same thing to them, and why? This is the thing. I'm not. You don't get upset about it. Why? Because you're doing the same thing to them that they're doing to you. They don't care. Nobody cares what you have to say because we're all going on there. This is the thing about the internet that a lot of people don't understand. And I'm not. Getting a workout here. Love it. I'm not saying this is a bad thing either. This is not why the internet's bad. This is actually a good thing about the internet. And this is, here I will say it and I will make my point. My voice will be heard right here on this live feed. I'm going to post this video, trying to make a good one for you guys. So a little bit of wisdom about how the old internet works. Social media, the socially what do they call it? Parasocial? Like parasitic, parasocial activity or parasocial dependency, whatever. That's exactly what it is, though, is we're parasocial. We're pseudo-social. We're not actually being social. We don't go on the internet to have conversation. You go on there to make your point, to voice your opinion. To say your side of something, right? That's 90% of why we're on there. I'm talking about when you comment. If you come here to this video and you're interacting with others, and that's different. But a lot of people on the internet, the way that they interact with people, I don't get it. It's like, here we got a 10-year-old and he's very polite. Then I get a lot of 10-year-olds, or you can tell it's somebody's 5-year-old on there and they're just whatever, they're just typing stuff. It's fine if kids come on here and want to watch this stuff. And thank you for telling me and reminding me that even though I don't make content for younger kids, thank you for reminding me that there are young ones here. And so I'm going to try to respect that. Not cuss or swear or kick stuff or lose my temper or put on a show. You know, they're young kids. We don't need to influence bad activity. We don't need to influence, I guess that's where the word influencer comes from. I don't consider myself an influencer in any way, shape, or form. Never have been to anybody. Doesn't mean that I can't lead a class of 10-year-olds down a mountain on skis and snowboards. See, and that whole thing to me, that's not influencing. That's just being a leader. That's just leadership. Hit it with your purse. Well, we're trying not to hit our knuckles right here on this edge. So yeah, it's funny you say that because everybody's got to say it. That's what I mean right there is that's the internet, and that's how we all use the internet. Even if you just want to make a silly snide comment about how somebody's doing something. You know, that's what most people use the internet for. It's not real important stuff that we use the internet for most of the time. I mean, for me, I do. I use it for work all the time. I just got to get that just enough to get that pin in. I have a smaller pin. The other thing is that I tapered this end of this pin, so it's not 100% bottoming out on the metal. But I just need to get it enough to get a quick pin in there. I like the bigger one because that's what it's made for. That's the size we're made for. But if we got to go the smaller, which goes in there just fine. Smaller came off at 1 inch too. Seeing my auto moderator is already working. Because somebody already has come in here and said something that I don't think a lot of people want to see, because that question, that comment's already been dealt with, not by me. Just got to get that pin in there. There's that pin. I don't know, should we go all the way down with it? And see, I don't know how long this is going to hold up for anyway, because it's just to move the arm up and down and pick the forks up and move the machine in and out for now, until I can actually repair it better, get a better piece of metal in there. We're moving it. See, there's so much force and weight on that thing, just as the arm. Those pins do a great deal of stress and pressure. Got a leak up here. I busted the hydraulic out. Got a leak in there somewhere. But that's what we do here. That's basically what I'm showing you guys is that's what we do around here. That's a lot of my day right there. It's just getting that pin and everything together, just so I can get stuff out and clear stuff so that I can work on the car in here. trying here, guys. I'm not real good with the camera. Keep trying here, guys. I'm not real good with the camera all the time. Showing you this, showing you that, showing you everything about my life. Where I'm going, what I'm doing. Personally, I'm not interested in all that. Yeah, leaking fluid all over because I punctured the line. But it only seems to gush out when I move some. So therefore I'm not really super worried about it at this point. It is what it is. And I got a bunch of other stuff to do. I got to move these, everything that's on the pallet's got to go on the other side. She's just pouring fluid right out of there. Just pouring. All right, so I know I could just pick them up, walk them over, but the problem is there's a whole wall here. You got to step over that wall each time. So I'd have to grab a bag, carry the bag, put it on the wall, jump over the wall, grab the bag, set it down. This way, I can just easily grab everything and set it on the ground. No, that's what we're doing here. I gotta completely clear out all this space, all of this crap you see here. It's all got to be out of here. It's all got to be put back where it goes, where it belongs, so that I can get a car in here. In order for me to get a car in here, we're about see. I don't know. For me to get a car in here, let me just do this. So for me to fit my car in here, I need everything, pretty much everything. I mean, that box could stay, but I like it so that everything from here back is out of the way. Just got a lot of moving around and shuffling to do. That's pretty much all that I'm doing. And I got to be able to get a vehicle in here because both of them that I'm using right now for all my stuff. I got a lawnmower over here. I should have thrown the lawnmower up over on there. I'm not going to use it for a while. I guess the mower can go back in the corner, but this actually is going to end up back in that corner once I clear all the stuff out. Because it has to because the machine has to be in here. It's got to be back far enough so it's not in the way of a car getting in and out. Okay, so one thought that I just had, well, I always think of it. I always think about it. Masonry business. I'm just always thinking in my head, am I glad to be at that crossroads in my life where I can decide not to do it anymore? And I'm thinking, yeah, you know, it's kind of nice, at least in my life, at least with everything that I have going on in my life, everything that I deal with. I mean, this in itself is a pain. Just carrying 4 bags of material from jobs that most of the time you don't know what that bag is gonna be for the next job, if ever. You don't know if you're ever gonna use it again. You gotta store it. I got bags in there of concrete, mortar, sand. Now I got bags over here, poly sand, and the problem is you gotta keep it dry and baby it the whole time you have it. You can't just, you know, it's not like the stone, you can't just throw it outside and have it be good. And I'm always back and forth on between the woodworking, chainsaw carving, whatever you want to call it, and the masonry. I'm always back and forth between the two on the goods and bads of both. I'm always saying, oh, I can't wait to be done with masonry because of this, or oh, I can't wait to be done with the wood carving for a while because of that. And you're always doing that. You're always going to be back and forth on it. I hate to put it right here, but there's just so much crap in here. There's an air conditioner that has to leave. Another barn inherited thing just in the way. There's a pile. There's a huge pile of wood over here. Wood, just junk, bark, and splintered wood from it. A guy did firewood in here. He had it all stacked up. He left us a huge mess. After he didn't pay rent for years and he left. I mean, it was one of those kind of situations too where it was a friend, but he was kind of taking advantage, like taking severe advantage of his friend's kindness. And then when I came here and started making the place better for everybody, I mean, I cleaned all this out, but this whole side of this barn was just piles of stuff. You couldn't hardly walk over it, and a lot of it was just junk wood and just junk. We did a bunch of scrap runs one year, and I think we got like $200 or $300 in scrap a couple of times. I mean, it was a lot of scrap. There was like, I've probably taken all together in scrap I've probably, between me and the owner, we've probably hauled out 4 tons of scrap from here. And it's nice, see, and this is the problem, these poly sand, they like to get wet, and then the sand is no good after that. It's all ruined. And you gotta keep moving it around, it's always gonna be in your way. You don't want anything getting in it either, because if anything gets in it, it'll lose its, the stuff is so sensitive. I don't like working with it. It's if the customer, if that's what they want, they're going to pay for it, then I'll put it in, but I tell them when I install it, it may not even work because there's no guarantees unless you have a perfect scenario exactly how they want it. They designed this stuff for 2-inch thick stone. So that means you got to get a pallet with all 2-inch thick stone. That doesn't always happen. Your stones, I mean, they vary. You're getting 1 inch. You're usually installing like 3/4 inch to 3 inch. That's about your thicknesses that you normally get. And it's very specific stuff. The problem with it is they want you to run a power tamper over it. Well, if you're putting all natural bluestone in, you don't want to tamp over that without having a big old rubber mat or plywood over top of it. And even then, you don't want a real powerful tamp, because too much weight and pressure will crack the stone. I'm going to worry about covering that crap up later, I guess. I'll just throw this over everything for now. I'm doing a video for you guys and talk to you guys. Just cords. Those cords are so wadded up and snarled and hard to deal with. I just don't want to mess with it right now. Just got stuff everywhere. We're just trying to reduce the amount of stuff everywhere right now. I got no room to move it. Figured I'd do a live feed while I was doing this. Then place shift the shit. Huh? Well, what's the point in doing a live feed if I'm not talking? He was like, just move the shit and quit talking, get going. Okay, guy. If you're joking, yeah, whatever. I don't know. That's why to me, the whole internet thing, I don't even pay that any mind. I don't even care what you guys have to say, because half the time, you're just talking shit. Is this guy drinking or something? Or is this somebody that I know who's just being silly? Because it's funny. It's funny to read. I don't understand. I just don't understand the dialect he's having with himself there. Like, get it. Get some. Well, then quit talking and get her done. place shift that shit. Like, get it. What do you say? Get it all out. It's funny. Bunch of funny faces there. Somebody said hi. Yeah, so we had a warm day here. It's beautiful out. Oh, it's a beautiful day. And yeah, I got a bunch of sorting to do. Bunch of sorting stuff. Because I got to get to the point where, you know, I'll show you guys around because I usually do. There's the old Rammy. And if you look down in there, you see a lot of fluid. It's just pouring out every time I move it up and down. It's either the hose for that cylinder or the main one. So I pinched it. It's not bad enough that I can't use the machine and keep it topped it off, but rather not have fluid everywhere. This is the other project. Constant, ongoing, non-stop maintenance deal. It works. It does its job when it's needed. More wood coming in every day. Tree guys are just pushing, still cranking away. This is my pile here, right? There's all my stuff back in here. There's a bear I'm working on undercover. I gotta start cutting. And did some milling here earlier this year. Started and then I broke my milling board. It'll still work good, but between moving piles for these guys, keeping the machines maintained or fixed, working on cars, I don't get a whole heck of a lot of time for my extra things that I want to do, like extra milling, extra sorting through. There's pine in there that I could probably use. I always pile it up here. This is all our usable wood, whether it's hardwood or softwoods. There's 4 other areas on this property where we sort and put stuff. Log piles everywhere. Yeah, I figured you guys are bored watching me move stuff around in the barn. That's my goal for the day, is to get that cleaned out and at least do the go through the brakes on one vehicle so I can get out and work tonight. I use my vehicles all the time for work. Look at this. We have, look at the size. Look at the size of that paw. I've seen him too. He's pretty big. He's big. It's like horse size. He's healthy. I think he's probably 10 point. Maybe more. I don't know how to count them. I don't know anything about hunting or deer. Never really been interested in it. Never had time for that. Never had time to go sit in the woods and wait for a deer to walk by and shoot it. Yeah, it might be something I get into someday, but I doubt it. Got enough going on. I have been given a whole doe at one time, and it was cool. It was cool skinning it and processing it. I was really happy to have all that meat. And the guy I got it from was a good friend. So I've done the process. Never shot a deer, but that's not. I don't think that would bother me or be anything too hard to do. Sit there and wait for him to walk by, and take some hunting courses, and they actually tell you where to shoot the deer. So, me personally, I wouldn't take the shot. I'm not that hungry. I don't like killing things that much. I don't have the need to shoot things. You know, I like shooting guns, don't get me wrong. I like shooting this stuff. I like blowing stuff up if I can. I like fireworks and big banger things, and I like all that. I grew up out in the woods. We used to burn tires and big pallets, big bonfires. Lived out where people burned garbage all the time. I mean, nothing bothered anybody back then. Now everybody gets so sensitive and so aggro about stuff. I don't know. That's the internet, seems like. Like I said, my point about the internet is that we're all going there and voice boxing out to the great world out there. There's a carving I did. A little lady face last spring. She's got a big schnoz on her. I kind of like the flowers, and people are like, "Oh, she looks Hawaiian." I just did a design. It was during a show. I had nothing better else going on during an event. But the internet, this is my shop. We got bears to finish, bears to work on, roosters. We can get them done. Got a lot of stuff going on here and there, stuff that I've done in the past. This is just the dry and storage side. My guitar rack. I have an acoustic guitar that I got a pickup for. I'm really excited about. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff always going on. Saws, constant saws. There's saws everywhere. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Voicing my opinion about the internet. I think it's a wonderful thing. But like I'm saying, it doesn't really do me any good to spend time on there saying anything most of the time. I'm not a blogger. I'm not some guy looking for popularity. I don't get it. I don't get the ultra competitiveness that people get on there. I don't get the standoffishness that people get on there where they get in arguments over silly things. So I don't even get involved. I don't even watch it. It's a waste of time watching arguments. Just some of the things people say on there, you're just like, is that where we've gotten this far? It's 2026 and we still interact that way with one another. And it's not a good way, and sometimes it's good. I like the internet because you get a lot of, there's another wood pile way over there. That's a whole other area. There's 4 big wood piles over there. Trucks pull in and stack them up. But my thing is I knew a guy who worked at a company, and 2 guys were having an argument. It was just a silly little story. 2 guys were having an argument about what kind of oil to put on a cutting board. And it was based off a Facebook post. And the 2 guys got fired because they got in a fist fight for arguing over a Facebook post about what kind of oil to put on a cutting board. They got fired from their jobs. And that was like over 10 years ago that I heard that story, and I was like, that's it, man. I know where this is going. I know where the internet's taking us, and it's not in a really good direction. But you can make it good. I try to make it good for everybody that watches. I try to make it good for myself. I enjoy this. I enjoy the equipment. I enjoy working on things. I enjoy having lots of things to do. I enjoy being overwhelmed, like I said. And the internet's not my strong suit. So if you don't see me for a while or you're wondering what this channel's about, you can click on my little avatar, whatever they call it there, the circle next to my name. Check out my videos. I got a bunch on there, and I actually have more than those videos, but I've been going through just in YouTube editor, and I've been making some videos private so that they're off the stream. They stop where they're at, the count that they're at. I'm playing with the metrics to see what changes or what doesn't change according to that, and see what's more viewable, what people will watch, what people are more drawn to, what people will follow more, because that's always, it's always fun to build something and work on it. I like working on things. But that being said, thanks for hanging out. It's nice and warm out. It's probably like 40 degrees right now. Beautiful day. Gorgeous sunset. Sun's setting. I got to get the rest of the barn cleaned out and get my brakes done. So thanks for hanging out, guys. We'll talk to you next time.